chapter 15. Okay, last time or several weeks ago, I mentioned it. Uh, we moved from chapter 1 to chapter 15. Why did I do that? Why do I want to do that? Because chapter 15 talk about the group and the team project, team effective group and the team approach. This is a theoretical review how to build up an effective team. We discussed that. Then after this chapter, we will do the group project. Okay, I'd rather have you to practice some of these chapter 15 theory and the skill. Okay, to begin with, let's talk about this open case. Okay, U.S. Army try to battle against the red tape. Okay, so first of all, what is a red tape? Anyone want to try? I have your roster here. Okay, red tape. What is red tape? Anyone want to try to talk about it?
Stuff the government puts in place, like regulations and so on, that prevent you from like opening a business or doing certain actions.
That's very good, Joe. So red tape is what? Paperwork, forms, okay, and all the paperwork called what? Called red tape. And let's take a look. Okay, uh, okay. Red tape means what? Official forms and the procedures and the paperwork. Okay, so in the U.S. Army, okay, it's a slow moving layers of bureaucracy. Takes several years to design or revise a new product. By the time the product is available, it is no longer considered an advanced technology. So in the US Army, we always have problems with what? With the new product development. Why? Because control is essential to Department of what? Army. Okay? In the Army, they don't allow deviation. Everything should follow the order, one action, no deviation. So what's the trade-off? Because the centralized control. So we have the trade-off of what? Less efficient, less effective, less focus, okay, and what? Executive ability is what? Reasonably low. And the reason is because what? The major task for the army is what? Control. Okay, bureaucracy is the necessity for this department. Okay, so how to solve the problem? Okay, take a look at the strategy. Okay, first of all, they create a special task force. Okay, and this is a senior officers. Okay, 3-star, 2-star generals. Okay, they create a special task force called what? Army Features Command under Department of Army. Okay, and the two leaders. Okay, one is Under Secretary of the Army, the other one is the Army Vice Chief of Staff. Okay, this is what? Military side. This is what? Logistics side. Okay, and Under Secretary get all the budget resources, and what? Vice Chief of Staff will be the end user. They they coordinate, okay, different combat group and all those military units in the field. Okay, so the first thing, they create a centralized task force team called Army Features Command. After that, they what? They prioritize everything. Okay, they try to figure out everyone can what propose the ideas. Then they review, then they screen down. These are the top priorities according to this paper was published 2017. Okay, the textbook mentioned 8 priorities. but actually 6. And some of these listings slightly different, okay? But I use what? The one from the original article. I didn't use the textbook. Okay, so talking about long range provision, okay, system, talking about uh, next generation compact vehicles, okay, and the vertical lift, and a lot of stuff at that time they think it's the most important one. So first of all, centralized task force. Secondly, what? Okay, uh, internal priority. These are the top 6 priorities. Then they have what? 6 different multi-functional team. Every team, okay, leaders are what? 1 or 2 star generals, okay, and each team have what? People from different administrative unit, okay, including planning, okay, science, technology, finance, programming, testing, and the materials, etc., etc. Okay, so centralized task force prioritize all the important project. Each project will have a multifunctional team led by the generals. Okay, then they find out what's the result. Significantly shorten the time of new system. And for instance, this new night vision goggle, traditional 2, 3, 5 years, and under this new approach, they get it done in 1 year. Long range precision, okay, artillery missiles, they also get it done significantly shorter period of time. And clear priority because they have what? Centralized task force. So they always set the priority, okay? And before they waste too much time, they only focus on what? The priority set up by the centralized uh, Army Features Command, okay? And number 3, they cut a lot of waste, okay? They use the budget, okay, more effectively and efficiently. Effectively means what? Towards the really the goal they set up to be. Efficiently means what? Lower input to get the maximum output. So they can use the budget, our taxpayers' money more efficiently. Okay? So look like there's a big thing, but I want you to know, I make a remarks here. Cross-functional team are widely used structure for all the high-tech defense or project-oriented industries. Okay, and the source of this article you can see there. It's also in the textbook. Okay, so what does that mean? The project management team is not a unique things. You go to Boeing company, you go to all the defense contractors, you go to Microsoft, you go to a lot of what high-tech companies. Okay, these multifunctional team is the major approach. Okay, how come the Army doesn't use it? Because Army subcontract most of the defense, okay, weapons and the what defense related, okay, equipment, what, to the subcontractor. They don't do a lot. In house, they only do limited ones, and they haven't done an effective job. So the undersecretary of Department of U.S. Army, okay, is civilian position. Number 2 person, the hardest one from what? Defense contract company. So he brought in something has been practiced 20, 30, 40 years to the Department of U.S. Army. Okay, and it's proven useful in the U.S. Army. Okay, so I want you to know it is not a big thing, but it is big thing for what? For U.S. Army because what? U.S. Army by practicing it, they can save what? Millions of dollars. However, you have to remember centralized control. is what? Is the essence of US military, okay? So they only have what? The new product development section using the multifunctional team. Rest of the organization, control, control, control. For US military, control and the bureaucracy is a necessity, so they don't compromise that, okay? And so I just want to make that remark so you know, okay, it is important for certain specific feature of the organization, and in the US Department of Army, in the weapon development, weapon enhancement, they need the multifunctional team. Rest of the structure, okay, they still have a very tight bureaucracy. Okay. Now let's talk about section 1, group teams and the organization effectiveness. Okay, group and the team. In the dictionary, they are the same thing. A group, two or more people, or a group of people work together to achieve certain goal. Both of them are very similar. So what's the difference? I put in the yellow. Teams work intensively or closely with each other, okay, and have what? Very specific goals, okay? Group are what? Loosely organized, less clear goal, okay? So let me ask you a question, okay? PTO, parents and teacher organization, is that a team or is that a group? Anyone?
It's a group rather than team.
It's a team or it's a group?
A group.
Group, right? Because what? It's informal. They try to what? Raise 5,000 or 80,000 or whatever, depends upon the size of the what? The school district. To what? To help improving the material for the class we use, or to what? Organize the volunteer work for the school. So it's what? It's voluntary, loosely controlled, okay? No penalty, no consequences, and it's a group. But team is what? More structurally, more organized, okay? So let me mark Nicholas, okay? I mean, so the distinguish, is it important or not important? To me, it's not that important. However, you are learning management. So in your blackboard and your textbook, okay, we have different meanings, so please pay attention to it. You will be needing it, okay? You need that, okay? And then let's go to, okay, next section, okay? Uh, talking about here, okay? What section 1, okay? What's the purpose, okay? Why do we want to do the teamwork or group work? Okay, if you see my outline, you can find out. A, B, C, D. There are 4 major reasons you want to use what? The outline, okay? Enhancing organizational performance, increasing responsiveness to the customer, increase innovation, increase what? Employee motivation, and what? Job satisfaction. Specifically, we take a look, okay? The first one is what? Performance, okay, enhancer, okay? What does that mean? The key words is synergy. What is synergy? Performance gain from coordination or from the group work. I put this little chart here. You can see 1, 2, 3. And outcome is what? 3.5. So through the synergy, the integration, if we do a good job, we can have what? Additional gain, additional outcome through the synergy process. Okay. A couple important things I want to mention, okay? The mixed is important. Mixed background, okay, can have what? a lot of complementary, okay, effect, because every individual is not a superstar, okay, with, okay, a good mixed, the synergy can create and the complementary, okay, outcome can be created. Number two, talking about what group teams can enhance responsive to the customer. Okay, because of the group, we have diverse expertise and the knowledge. Okay, and diverse expertise and knowledge can what? Can help us understand the customer needs of what? Different cultures and the countries. Okay, and let's talk a little bit about this. Okay, and our past president Donald Trump. Okay, during his 4 years administration, what's the top priority? American number one. He want to take care of American first. Specifically, he want to what? Bring back more jobs. Okay, millions of jobs lost to the third world country or abroad. He want to bring everything back. Is that right priority? Yes, it is. However, have you thought about something different, different perspective? All the big leading countries, companies in the United States has to has what? Global market. Microsoft, 1 billion people use a Windows. How many people use it in the US? Limited. Okay, maybe 30%, 40%. Okay, iPhone, millions, 20, 30 million iPhones sold in other part of the world, Europe, Japan. Okay, so to be the top company, Boeing airplane, they sold 300 to 500 air jet commercial aircraft globally. If we just have the local US market, can Boeing sustainable be the number one aircraft builder of the whole world? No. So global market is the top priority, is necessity for what? All the big corporations. Without the global market, okay, you cannot be the largest or what? The most competitive company. Okay, so if Donald Trump put a tax, this tax, that tax, a tariff on different stuff to restrict people import to the US, and globally, everyone tried to retaliate against the US. Which one's better? Which one can lose more job? If globally they want to stop buying aircraft from the Boeing, and they went to the Airbus in Europe to buy the aircraft from Europeans, guess what? Tens of thousands of jobs can be lost. Assembling line of what? Boeing company going to be what? Shut down. So we gain something, we lose something. So I'm not against Donald Trump. I just want you to know there's a balance between what? Job, American USA first. Because USA first, not talking about only the job. USA first also means what? We want to maintain the global competitiveness. We want to what? Maintain the leadership of high tech globally. Okay, so there's a balance there. And I think, I'm not sure, I think Joe Biden will gradually balance back a little bit. Okay, and we want to still protect employment from losing, okay, to abroad. But in the meantime, we want to give what? US companies more opportunities, less restrictions from other part of the world. Okay, so we will maintain a lot of cutting edge and competitiveness, okay, for many industry globally. Okay, so number two, we talk about what? Understand the customer globally. Teamwork is a lot better. And if you remember, I talk about Microsoft case. Diversity and the teamwork are also a very top priority for Microsoft to be in the leading position globally. Okay, they have to do that. Team and innovation, okay, and uncover each other's errors and faults, critique each other and compliment each other, and that's important. Okay, you cannot have individual doctors locked in a lab to invent new stuff. You have to have what? A lot of teamwork to do different things simultaneously. Okay, so for instance, the vaccine, traditionally 5 years, okay, to get the flu vaccine and do different vaccine. Okay, Pfizer and Moderna, they get it done, what, half year? How can they do that? Division of labor, teamwork. Everyone work on different parts, then what? Take everything together. So teamwork is what? Very necessary for the innovation. Okay, and so that's important. The last one is what? Group and teams can be a motivator, help each other, motivate each other. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, you work by yourself. Sometimes you have plateau. Sometimes you feel frustrated. Everyone has up and downs. But as a team, you are down today, I encourage you. I was down yesterday, you help me. Help each other, motivate each other. That's the way, okay, to what? To increase the effectiveness, okay, to create a result. 1+1+1 = 3.5 or equal 4. Okay, so the textbook, okay, and mentioned there are 4 major reasons, and we should consider the team because what? They can enhance the performance, they can increase the understanding and the responsiveness to customer, especially global. Okay, increase the innovation. Okay, because what? Complementary effect. Okay, and the different things, we can have more innovation. Okay, and the last one, we can help each other, motivate each other, and life is more fun and what? Satisfying. Okay, so after that, okay, we talk about type of groups and the teams. Okay, if you find out my outline of the chapter A, B, C to H, okay, and I want to share with you. Okay, if you want to use the other PowerPoint, I posted in the Blackboard. Okay, you can find out. Okay, the top management team. We talk about CEOs and department heads, etc. Research and development team. I want to talk about task force. Okay, so what is the task force? Task force is talking about a committee of managers and the non-managerial employees from various departments or divisions, okay, to solve a specific mutual problems. Okay, sometimes task force can be called what? Ad hoc committees. Okay, remember the case, open case in U.S. Army. Okay, they created a special task force to solve what? The military weapon development projects. Okay, and self-management team, very similar because under the task force, we have created so many what? Self-management team, a group of employees, okay, from they can have what? a lot of decisions to make by themselves. So I want to go back to this story I mentioned briefly. Okay, last time we talked about Ford. Okay, Ford, they did the car manufacturing and create something called what? Mass production line. And specifically, 1910s, okay, they have the mass production line to create Model T, okay, and make a big hit. It's revolutionized, okay. Traditionally, you make a car, a group of people around the car, put the tires, put different things, assemble a car, make a car, 2 to 3 weeks. Assembling thing, thousands of car can be manufactured through what? A big mass production line, miles of production line, thousands of car can be what? Can be produced every day. What's the trade-off? Let's assume your mass production line have what? 2,000 different tasks. If someone was frustrated, okay, this spot, this spot, this spot, okay, lose some concentration or something happen, then the car will have what? Multiple spot with weakness. So Japanese, to do the quality control, 1990s, 1980s, they have this self-management team approach integrated with what? Mass production line. They still have mass production line, but they what? They group 10, 20, 30 tasks together to be a self-management team. Within each team, you have 5, 10 tasks. So people can rotate among themselves. They can also make their schedule. They can also what? Help each other. The team approach to do the mass production line. So in the manufacturing industry, self-management line is very, very popular. That's really what? Save the cost. People work together every day so they know how to do these specific tasks better. Okay? Enhance the efficiency, enhance the quality, save the money, increase the motivation. Okay? So that has been tested to be very, very useful kind of what? Approach. I just browsing through. I still have their home, okay, and the pen and the lock, and 3 or 4 people didn't show me your picture. Okay, I don't know whether you were there. Okay, so try to review yourself so I know you not just turn to the system and walk away. Okay, so self-management team is something, okay, I want to mention that's very, very interesting and we'll be discussing in the future. Virtual team, okay, this is the last one I want to mention. What is a virtual team? Microsoft, Google, and IBM, they all have what? Different group of research and development people. Let's assume there's a group in Tokyo, there's a group in Beijing, okay, a group in Paris, a group in Austin, Texas, and also another group, last group is what? In the headquarters, Silicon Valley. So they want to what? Solve some problem. You cannot fly everyone from Paris, Tokyo, Beijing, Austin to what? To San Francisco. So you have what? Virtual team, okay? People constantly what? Collaborating everything through the virtual Zoom or some other approach, okay? So talk about the different types of what? Teams, and I want you to take a look, okay? I'm not discussing all the detail, and I just give you the listing. You can go to my outline. Each one, write down a couple keywords, okay? And then you understand what's going on, then you can do a better job. And by the way, in the outline, you better read it because in each outline, the back of the outline, I gave you the glossary definition of the terms, okay? And some international students did very well in my exam. They told me those glossary are very important. So before you took the test, okay, you have to take a look about the business terms in the outline I gave you and highlight the yellow part. Then you can do a better job in taking the exam. Okay. Next case is interesting case talking about self-management team at W.L. Gore and Associate. Okay, and W.L. Gore, okay, is what? Bill and Viv Gore. Okay, they found the company. Okay, in 1958. Okay, the current revenue 3.17 billion. The textbook says 3. They increased a little bit over the past few years. Employee size, the textbook says 9,000. I just Googled it. Currently it's 10,500. Okay, and they got 200 patents globally, and globally means what? A lot of duplicates. Probably one patent should be registered in this country or that country, etc., etc. The major product called what? PTFE. Okay, location is Delaware. Okay, I want to stop here a little bit. Okay, so whenever we talk about Arkansas, people know what? Walmart, okay? The largest company in terms of the employee size is located in what? Arkansas. People talk about Delaware. Which company we are talking about? Anyone knows it? No? Okay. I asked people, what's the uniqueness about Delaware last semester? Okay. And you know what people told me? Joe Biden. Oh, I said, that's not the point. Anything else? Okay. Someone says, what? No sales tax. That's correct. So in Pennsylvania, Maryland, a lot of people go to what? Go to Delaware to purchase. Okay. If you buy a car, you save a lot of money, but doesn't work. Why? Whenever you bring your car back to Arkansas or back to Pennsylvania, you have to register, right? So what? Pennsylvania government or Arkansas government still what? Ask you to pay the sales tax. Okay. But if you buy a cell phone, $1,000, you can save what? Sales tax if you purchase it in what? Delaware. But the point I want to mention is what? Is a company called DuPont. Okay. And you see here, DUPONT, DuPont. Okay. What's the uniqueness about this company? That's the largest chemical manufacturer of the entire world. Okay. So, you know, you talk about aircraft, commercial aircraft, you know, Boeing is what? The largest company. You talk about department store, you know, largest one is what? Walmart. You talk about chicken, the largest company is what? Tyson. You talk about chemical company, the largest one is what? DuPont. Okay, a lot of fabric. Okay, now a lot of clothes, you don't use cotton anymore. A lot of what? Artificial, okay, materials, nylon and different lawns. You know what? They're all coming from what? DuPont. Okay, so you have to know because DuPont is so big. Okay, so they what? Pay a lot of the corporate tax, and the residents in Delaware, they don't have to pay what? sales tax. Okay. However, I checked this morning, DuPont, the revenue, how much? 40 billion. How come? 40 billion in the US global companies is not a lot. Microsoft 150, okay, and we talk about Wells Fargo, 2 point some trillion, right? Revenue. DuPont only 40 billion. It's interesting. So I checked. DuPont and Dow Chemical, DOW, Dow Chemical, they merged in 2017. Okay. After they merged, 2019, they split to 3 companies and independently went to the stock market. Okay. So one called Corteva, Corteva, all the agriculture product, chemical product, fertilizers, everything, pesticides and all those stuff, they moved to Corteva. All those material stuff, they moved to Dow Chemical. Then DuPont only do what? Specialty product. Okay, so they merge the 2 largest chemical company, then they break it to what? To 3. Okay, they want to play low key. So you find out that DuPont revenue and everything after the merge dropped because what? They took part of the DuPont and the part of the Dow Chemical, create a new one. Okay, so 3 public company constitute what? The huge chemical manufacturers, okay, companies. So I want you to know you have to have this common sense, okay? Looking for anything chemical, innovation in chemical stuff, you go to what? DuPont or what? Or Dow Chemical or what? Corteva. Okay, so that's just give you some background because I think you really should know. People mention Arkansas, you know immediately. Okay, we have 3 major ones. Department store number 1, Walmart. Chicken meat number 1, Tyson. Third one is what? Trucking. But okay, what's that trucking company?
JB Hunt.
Yes, thank you. Because yeah, they are not number 1, but they are huge. Okay, so you can find out this company, WL Gore and Associate, they have $3.17 billion. They are what? Very close to DuPont. So they use what? Some of the chemicals company DuPont's product, make a new stuff called PTFE. And this PTFE have a lot of good features. Okay, insulation is good. Okay, temperature, negative 200 to positive 260 Celsius. Okay, that means what? 300 or 400 Fahrenheit. Okay, and also both sides. And what? Fire control, inflammability, UV resistance, and what? Have a lot of other good features. So this major product, PTFE, can be spread to 4 different divisions about this company: electronics, fabrics, industrial, and the medical. Okay, and this company is very interesting. Okay, because they focus on all these stuff, so they have very loose division, and all the company run by what? Self-management team. So they reduce managers to the minimum, create self-management team with higher levels of autonomy. Okay, and all the coming newcomers join they have to join a couple different teams with the team approval. So you come to the company, they give you orientation. After orientation, they identify your strength. Then they say, what? You probably fit into this group, this group, this group. So everything is what? Self-management team. Different from traditionally, you have a group of people, okay, and doing accounting, or do a group of people in certain division, electronic division. No, you can be what? Different teams, okay? And how did they get this idea? Because DuPont is what? High-tech company. They use a lot of self-management team. I told you the, okay, Army, okay? Cross-functional team is what? For high-tech defense and the project industry. So a lot of industry, they used to use what? They used to use the self-management team. So this company, they are based upon what? Hundreds of self-management team, okay? And their core value is focused on what? Innovation, innovation, innovation. And they give people good motivation, good bonus. Then they empower people. You learn something new, I will give you tuition reimbursement. And they what? They always encourage people, employees to increase their what? Capacity and ability. And they trust their employees. Okay. So this company is just tells another typical high-tech company focus on what? Focus on self-management team. I mentioned a little bit about DuPont. I think that's the common sense. You have to know, okay, one of the major chemical industry clustered in Delaware. Okay. Then section 4 talk about the group dynamics. Okay, in my outline, you can find out in this section we have A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Okay, and A, B, C, D, E. Today, we'll talk about the size, the task, and the role. And tomorrow and Wednesday, we'll start to talk about leadership and some other stuff. So first thing is what? Group size, okay? Can someone tell me what's the advantage to have a big group or small group? Taking some volunteer.
I feel like for both groups, you get more collective intelligence of the bigger the group. It might be a little bit harder to organize a bigger group, but you still have a lot more people coming together and coming up with an idea or whatever. And for a smaller group, I feel like it's more organized, or it can be more organized. But it's still, you have that intelligence, a lot of people coming together with their ideas and making something happen.
Thank you, Jared. That's absolutely right. Bigger group, more resources, but difficult to coordinate. Small group, okay, coherence, integration, everything is a lot better. Okay, so traditionally we prefer what? Small group. But for certain things, we have to have a big group. Strategic committee. We need representation from every different unit. Can we have a UCA strategic committee with 8 people? No way. 20, 30 people. College of Education, College of Business, accounting department, police service, student service. We need a big group because what? Representation is important. Okay? But for majority of the task, we use what? Small group. Okay? And big group cannot accomplish a lot of things. So normally we will have what? Subcommittees to do it. Okay. Before I let you go, Jeff Bezos, okay, he's what? CEO of Amazon. He has this interesting called what? 2 pizza rule. Okay. Can someone tell me one large size pizza, how many slices? MJ, give you a question. One large pizza, Normally, how many slices?
8.
8, correct.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the way we cut the pizza. So 2 pizza rule means what? 8 person or less. If you work for Amazon, you want to get reimbursement from the lunch. Company only reimburse what? 2 pizza. More than 2, no reimbursement. Means Jeff want the committee to be small, 8 and less people. Jeff has another interesting things. What is it? No PowerPoint. People get lazy. Oh, show me your PowerPoint. Okay, so he won't allow PowerPoint in the meeting. Everyone take your note. Okay, if you want to have a meeting, you can provide a couple bullets. People have to take their note so they can be more focused. So Jeff has these 2 famous things. Number 1, no PowerPoint. Number 2, what? 2 pizza rule. Small committee. But I told you a couple things like what? The committee needs what? Very comprehensive representation. That's the different things. But for the large committee, we use what? A lot of subcommittees to do different things, okay? Because you just cannot function. Everything 20 people together, impossible. So you have what? Subcommittee, 5, 6, or 8 or less people to work on a specific task, okay? And so let me get you, Ms. Russell. Oh, you spoke last time too. Yeah, that's good. So the size, okay, so I mentioned very briefly, okay, and we want to have a small group, easy to coordinate, etc. Large group, okay, need more time, need more stuff to do it, okay. However, okay, if we need what representation, then we have to have it, but we always create subcommittees to what facilitate the performance of large team members.